episode of the Riff Rundown with my friends at Fishman. This is a fun live stream guitar lesson if you're new, and we go through a song live, no edits. It's a live Q&A too, so if you have questions about the gear that I'm using, all that good stuff, put it in the comments. We love building a wonderful community here of guitar players and music lovers. So I encourage you to put your questions and all of that stuff in the chat. Today's episode is pre-recorded, but don't worry. I'll be going through those comments again. If you guys have questions about all this stuff, I'm going to get to as many of those as I can when I am back. So today, we're going to be learning Angel from Montgomery. We're going to be doing the Bonnie Raitt version, again, originally written by the legendary John Prine. Such an iconic song from the American Songbook. Just a beautiful one to play. Definitely geared towards the beginners who are watching today. So we're going to be doing two things with our guitar before we get started. First off, I want you to put your guitar in drop D tuning. So all that means is your low E string, we're going to tune it down to D, and we're going to keep the rest of the strings as they are when we're in standard tuning. So the notes should be, and the string should be tuned to, we've got a D, A string, D string, G string, B string, and then the high E, okay? And again, the notes, D, A, D, G, B, and E. Then what I want you to do is go ahead and place a capo on the second fret of your guitar, okay? Nice and straight here, as close to the fret as you can get without touching it is what I suggest. We don't want any capos that are crooked here. So a nice straight capo will do the job just fine here today. So, you know, I like to ask a question before we get started, so let me know where you are tuning in from and your favorite sad song. Where are you tuning in from? Favorite sad song? And here we go. Here is Angel from Montgomery. Again, a really beautiful song here. Definitely geared towards the beginner. So if I have advanced students who are watching today, let's go ahead and type some words of encouragement in the comment section. I would really appreciate that. Let's send some good energy to those beginners who are watching today who want to learn this really awesome song. So I'd really appreciate that. So thanks, you guys. So let's go ahead and get to with the intro. We're going to go between two chords, D and G over B, and then we have a riff. So just three little things we got to learn, not too bad. All right, so we're going to go ahead and incorporate this now very low D string that we have here, okay, into this song. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start with that low E string. We're going to play with our pick the open D string, and we're going to get this D chord ready to go. So if you don't know how to play this D chord, first three fingers here. First finger on the second fret of the G string. Now, keeping in mind, I'm going to call it as if we don't have the capo here, all right, just to keep things really consistent, nice and clear for everybody. I'm going to get our second finger now, the second fret of the high E, third finger, third fret of the B string. So what's cool about this is since we're in that drop D, we can strum everything. Check it out. Beautiful chord. So going back to how we play this, the drop D, right, the low E string, the open D string. Then with our pick, we're going to strike that G string, the string that we're playing with our first finger. And then what I like to do here is I'm going to strike upward with my middle finger, okay? This is called hybrid picking, where we use the pick and our fingers to play. So all we're gonna do is lightly, like a feather, like you're playing a harp, okay? That we're gonna strike that high E and B string together, okay? Try not to overthink it too much. Nice and light, okay? But with good conviction, all right? So here we go. I'm gonna play that nice and slowly here. Let's do that a couple times. And last time. So that's how we want to play the D chord here. Now, we're going to go to a G over B. Now, we know how to play a G chord, but if I were to play it like this, that drop D is not going to make it sound so good, all right? So G over B is the note, or the chord rather, that we're going to be using here. So I want you to place your first finger on the second fret of the A string. Get your third finger, the third fret of the B string, and your fourth finger, okay, the third fret, the high E. So strum from the A string downward. And that's all we're going to do for this chord. We're going to strum that downward. Just give me some nice light brushes afterwards, okay? So when we put all of this together, it sounds like this. And I'm going to play it a little bit slower. All right, so here we go. Let's do that one more time. Now, I'm giving you the option to strum that G over B, or what I like to do is that. I like to hybrid pick this. My pick is playing this A string, and then with that middle finger, I am brushing upward to play the rest of the chord. That middle finger is on the high E, and I'm brushing upward like that. Okay, so that's two options on how to play this. You could absolutely strum it, or you could do it like me and hybrid pick it. Up to you. So I'll go back and forth between the options. Here is the strummed way. And now the hybrid picking way. I'll go back and forth between the two without the commentary. Here we go. Strum, hybrid pick. Okay, so I'll leave that up to you on how you want to do that. So we go back and forth between those two chords 2 times. D, G over B, D, G over B, and then we have this great riff. And then that leads us right into that D chord. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to play it slowly again. Last note there leads into that D chord. So we're going to do here, get your third finger, placing that on the second fret of that low E string. We're going to strike the note one time, then slide it to the fourth fret. Just like that. Let's go ahead and do that again. One more time. Now, your first finger placing that on the second fret of the A string, or I'm sorry, open A string. We don't even need a finger to play it. Just like that. Then we put the first finger down, second fret of that A string, and then the open D string. So it sounds like this, nice and slow. Let's do that again. Again, if you want to alternate pick this, I'd highly suggest it. Sounds great. And again. Okay, keep it up. I'm sure you guys are doing great. Let's do it a few more times. And last time. Okay, not too bad, right? So that's the intro. Now, Let's go ahead and put all of these pieces together. I'll give you one little thing that Bonnie Raitt does that I think is just so stunning in the song. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the verse. So here we go from the top, the first three parts that we have learned. Here we go. Bonnie Raitt does on the second pass is after she plays that G over B, she moves quickly back to the D chord and does this. This is something that's very beautiful here. So go ahead and play that D chord again. What we're going to do is lift up that middle finger. When we play this chord, beautiful, right? That's a D sus2 once we lift up that middle finger, exposing that open E string. When we do that, we're going to hammer on quickly back with that middle finger on the second fret of the high E, and then pull off to play the D sus2 again. Then you're going to strike the B string and G string. So that sounds like this. Now, if you want to give it a little more body, go ahead and play that open D string and let it ring the entire time. Pretty cool, right? So here's that in context with the entire intro. In quite nicely. Really, really beautiful thing. So that was something I wanted to mention. Now, we're going to go into the verse. So the verse, pretty simple here. We're going to go from D to G over B 1, 2, 3 times, and then we go from A to D with the riff ending the first part of the verse. So that sounds like this, and I'll call out the chords: D, G over B, D, G over B, D, G over B, here comes the A chord, D. Okay, so that's what's happening there. So as you notice here, we're playing this a little bit straighter than we did at the top of the intro. I'm just doing some very light strumming here. Could you kind of do a finger picking, hybrid picking type thing? Absolutely. And listen to the song, and I so encourage you to listen to some live versions of this as well. Bonnie Raitt is just incredible. Just incredible. And if you haven't seen her live yet, be sure to do that too. Her live shows are awesome. So you can strum this, you can hybrid pick this. I'm gonna leave that up to you, but I'll show you how to just lightly strum this. I kind of like to do a down, 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 up. G over B. Just to keep it light for my beginners, you can totally do that and keep the time. And this goes for most of the chords in this verse section. Once we get to the A, give me 2 downward strokes on that chord, letting the D string ring. Then we do the riff. And then back to that D chord. So that sounds like this: D, G over B, D, G over B, D, G over B, A, D. Riff. Do that without the commentary. Keep up the good work. Let me know how everyone's doing in the comments, okay? Let's go ahead and do that again without the commentary. One more time. So let's go ahead and play it a little faster, okay, for context. I'm going to include the intro here. So here we go. Intro and verse. Verse. Riff. So, leading into the chorus, we're not going to see that riff make an appearance again. That's quite all right, because it's just so impactful when we play it in the intro and at the end of the verses. So, great riff. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to play the chorus. Here's how the chorus sounds. Intro, riff, and chords. Okay, so with that chorus there, again, familiar chords here, beginner-friendly chords. A new one that we're playing here is going to be a C. So get that first finger, first fret of the B string, second finger, second fret of the D string, third finger, third fret of the A string. We want to keep our fingers nice and curled. We don't want to be on top of the frets. That's where we're going to get that fret buzz. No bueno. We don't want that. Okay, pressing through with those fingertips, okay, nice and strong, but we don't want any pain in those hands. Okay, so nice and strong, fingertip tight. Okay, now when we play, or at least when I'm playing this chorus, I'm pretty sure I heard it on the recording as well. Notice what I did there. Let me tell you exactly what's happening there. So when I lift, so from that C chord, let's look at it there. If I were to lift that second finger out of the way and play this chord, that's a C sus2. Beautiful, stunning chord, right? It's a beautiful way to lead into the C chord itself, and I'll show you what I mean. Strumming that chord and then hammering that second finger back down on the second fret of the D string. Beautiful chord. So could you choose to just play the C chord through this? Will it sound beautiful? Yes. If you wanted to add a little bit more body, perhaps, I encourage you to play that C sus2, lifting up and then hammering back on with that second finger. Okay? So in context with the chorus, I'll play the first 4 chords, including that C sus2. That sounds like this. So let's do those first 2 chords, D to C, if you want to do the sus, and they're great, G over B to D. So here we go. Now something I'd like to do here is when we're going to the next D chord, okay, so we're going to stay on this chord. I'm going to lift my first finger, do the same thing that we did, right? Strum the chord, and then bring that first finger down, hammering on that A note. So we have that G. Isn't that beautiful? So then that A note there, in accordance to the capo, of course. So we can choose to do that. That chord progression will go from D to C, G over B, and D. So that chord progression is repeated. So let's go ahead and play that. D, C, G over B, and D. We're going to do that 3 times through. 3 times, okay? So here we go. So the last 4 chords at the end of this chorus are going to be D, G over B, 2 downstrokes on that A chord, and then to our D major into the intro riff. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that again. I'll do 1 pass calling out the chords. I'll do another pass of the chorus without the commentary. And again, if you're enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Absolutely helps the cause very, very much. If you want to check out all the cool Fishman gear that I use in these lessons, including the R Spectrum DI, the little silver box that I just love, you can go ahead and check out the link in the video description below. All right, so here we go. Here's the chorus calling out the chords. D, C, G over B, D, D, C, G over B, D, C, G over B, D, D, G over B, A, D. Here's the chorus without the commentary. Here we go. Follow along. Let me know how everyone's doing. Let's do an intro. Now that leads us into our second verse, okay? So after that second verse, we have another chorus, and then we have another intro riff, and then we have a verse 3, and then we have a chorus, and then we have an outro. So that outro, all it is we're gonna tag the last 4 chords of that chorus, that D to G over B, and A, and a bit, we slow it down a little bit there, and then to that D major chord, and then we'll call it a day with the song. All right, so what we're gonna do here, let's go ahead and play the intro 2 times through. Then let's go ahead and do a verse. Then let's go ahead and do a chorus. And again, I'll call all this out, and then I'll call out that outro as well. Okay, so here we go from the very top, intro. Into our verse. Part. our chorus. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Now with the tag. And if you want to do the D sus too, where you lift up that second finger and then hammer it on to play the full D chord, it sounds great. But that is the song. Again, a very beginner-friendly song, really beautiful, really fun to play. And also too, with the couple minutes that we have left, there's some really cool little riffs that happened with the lead guitar that's playing. So I'll give you just like two of them here. And again, listen back to the song and you can hear how they're placed and how incredibly melodic they are. Really beautiful, very simple little riffs, yet very, very beautiful to play. So those first two riffs we hear at the 21-second mark through the 31-second mark. And it sounds like this. Again, a really beautiful part here. So we're going to use the first two fingers to play this. We're going to get our first finger placing that on the second fret of that G string, second finger, third fret of the B string. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hybrid pick this. My pick is going to play the G string, and my second finger here, okay, my second finger here is going to play striking upwards on that B string. It's like a slight pinch, okay, but don't pinch too hard, slight pinch, just like that. And we're going to slide this up a whole step, meaning your first finger should be on the fourth fret of the G string, again in accordance to the capo, and your second finger should be on the fifth fret of the B string in accordance to the capo. Now, I am only striking this one time. Listen. If I were to play each section, it doesn't sound as flowy. We want it to be one strike with the strumming hand, and that's it. Just like that. Now, this takes some practice, okay? So I encourage you. These lessons are up on YouTube. You can go and check it out and slow things down if you need to. So like in context between the D and G chord, that would sound like this. So we hear that. Now, it's two guitar parts, but if you wanted to play it as one guitarist, you totally could. Okay? So the next little bit here that we see is this. And again, same idea here with the hybrid picking. Pick is now on the B string, and then my middle finger is on the high E. Now, my first finger from my fretted hand, place it across the third fret in accordance to the capo and the B and E string. And again, strike it once. As you slide, once you get back to the third fret, strike it again. Okay, so I'm going to do that again nice and slowly here. Okay, so again, encourage you guys. Have fun with this one. This is a great song. As always, such an honor to teach you guys. I enjoy this week after week. Want to thank my friends at Fishman for helping me do these lessons. Gosh, for the last 2.5 years, it's been a blast. And again, thank you all for being so cool and so kind to one another in the comment section. Know that I see it and I love it. And again, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps the cause. And as always, wishing you much success in your musical journey.